What's going on, guys? We're back. Next day. No, I did not change. I'm lazy. Yeah, so we're here next day. Haven't touched anything on the song since yesterday at the conclusion of whatever I was doing. I'm just going to move the camera this way so you can get a view of my the actual neck of the guitar. And let me try just a little bit downwards. Yeah, that's better, I guess. Maybe. Anyway, so we left off this section here. So when I'm stuck in a section and I'm not exactly sure where to go next, I usually just play the last riff, or the last section of the riff. So and I kind of just feel out what my next options are that sound like they naturally flow. So that's one route. That's another route. Just going back, that's another route. But I think the place I want to go is... So this is also just this note, which is the octave of. So just open. Brings you back to the root. Works for me. So now it's just figuring out exactly what to play. I'm thinking of... Well, this section is... I'm thinking that section is going to be kind of like a pre-verse, like a bridge pre-verse kind of thing. So I want to do that going into the next section, that faster section, which is kind of the verse. I want to do something else with that. So what I'll do is I'll do this. I'll copy one side and then everything else, because I feel like this needs to be a little, and I also don't want to do the whole punk / thrash drum beat throughout the whole thing, so I want to do another 2 measures of maybe a harmony to break it up a little bit, and a different drum beat to also like reintegrate the sort of halftime feel to the song, because now this is double time. So remember in the last section I was talking about full time, halftime. So full time is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, double time would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So and then the second part would probably be halftime, either halftime or full time. Not sure yet. I call it full time. It's not necessarily what it's actually called. That's what I call it. But anyways, so what I want to do here is, because the section at the beginning, that slower section where it's that's slow. This section here is fast that I'm going to be following up after. So the chorusy section, I kind of want somewhere in between, something that's like partially fast, partially slow, so it makes a really nice transition. So what I'm doing here is adding ghost notes and palm mutes, kind of like I was yesterday. I personally, at least in this program, I use the ghost note feature as just a, hey, I'm not directly playing this note, but it's happening. And you can still hear it, but it's not at the forefront of what you're actually hearing. So when I'm playing, you know, just palm mutes, this is just one string. The next is, that's the top two strings, or the bottom two strings technically, and now it's the bottom three. 2, 1, 2, 3. Adds a complete separate feel to what you're actually playing. Yeah, I like that. I'll do the same thing as we've done before with the bass. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 notes is an octave, so when you pitch shift, make sure, if you're doing it like I do for bass, that you're going down 12 notes, or else you're not going to be playing the right notes. There's that. See how it's kind of fast, but it's also got some slower parts in there? So, yeah. You know what I'm actually going to do? Is I'm going to do, because I was going to just repeat the second section, you know, the same thing twice. I'm like, no, I kind of want to change the drums twice. So this one is going to be just kind of like super straightforward for the drums. This is going to be regular time or full time, and it's just going to be a nice straight through, nothing crazy drum beat. Literally just 16th notes, snares on the 2 and 4, cymbals on the 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'll go back through with some variation on the snares. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drums for a sec. No, I want snare. Oh no, I did those all as... Oh, what a dingus. Snare, snare. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's see how that sounds in context. Save it so I don't destroy it by accident. I'm sort of feeling like a little bit of a breakdown-y section since we're kind of going into that next slower part. So it's not going to be like straight kicks all the way through. I'm thinking da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. This last section I want to do a blast beat, so I'm going to leave that open. And I'll do my usual little fill here. So blasts are, the way I write them at least, and this could be either wrong or just one variation of blast beat, because I know there's a bunch. I do snare kick, snare kick, snare kick, snare kick, in 30-second notes with the cymbal accenting on 1, 2, 3, and 4. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. Now I gotta do the cymbals for here, which I'll do China's. China. So for the guitars, I kind of want to harmonize them. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. So that's all the 15s need to be 16. I think 17 can stay. 13 needs to be 14. That should be. Yeah, 12, 17 would be too far of a reach, so we'll do 12, 10. Yeah, 16's not bad. It's that extra little fret. So 16's here. So I need to go from 12 to 16. 12 to 17 is just that little bit too far for me. Not like I'm going to be playing this to speed or anything, but still, you know, I want it to be playable for people that can actually play this stuff, which is how I write all my music. Like, if I can't play it, I know there's somebody else out there who can, and I need to make it as realistic as possible for somebody that can actually play it. So that's how I approach all my music. If you're disappointed to hear that, click off now. I've been doing that my entire existence, so it's not really a big deal for me. I can't play everything that I write, but like I said earlier, it all comes from here. It's all still original. It's not like I'm ripping people off or, you know, lying about it or hiding from it. It all comes from here. I do all of this stuff myself, and I just can't play some of it. But I'm not going to limit my creativity to what I physically can or cannot do. And I think that goes for everybody, and I truly believe that if you've never even touched an instrument or even had an inkling of, oh, maybe I can write a song, you could probably write a song, and I could probably help you do it, and there's plenty of other people that can. So if you're ever interested in like writing a metal song or something, just ask. I can help you out, or at least try to. You could figure something out. So that you'd notice that note was a little too high. So, and that has to be a 7. That's a 7. Is that a 9? That's a 5. Is it a 5? It was a 5, by the way, for those inquiring minds. example. So up on the screen here, it says 12.707. I changed that from 14 because I wanted to see how difficult that would be to play. So. You'd think because 10 and 7 are close to each other, it'd be easy. If I wanted to play the same riff, I'd have to go from this 12 to this 7 on the next string up. But that also removes it from where the rest of the riff is playing. So from here I've gone 9, 12, I'm descending 9, 7, 5, 4, then I slide up to 12, 14, 16, 12, 14, 16, 14, 16, 14, 16, 14, 12, 14, 16, 14, 12, 12, 12, 11, 12, 10. And to shift down there, no, why not just go to the 14? So that goes back down to 14. And that is, I believe, that section done. So we'll prevent line break, save, go back to the beginning, bar, system layout, fixed bar count, 4 bars, same size for all bars, keep as default value, and then everything will be back where it's supposed to be, spaced correctly, because I am anal retentive about shit like that. That's just me. If you're doing this, you don't have to do it, but I'm just a freak of nature, so it's okay. So now we'll just go through that section. Just the fast section. I'm not going to make you guys listen to the whole thing. See how much difference that makes just by doing the harmonies and then changing up the feel of the drums. Just those 2 minor changes, relatively minor changes in the scope of a whole song, makes a huge difference. I mean, just going from the end of the So now I've got to contend with this section. So, like I was showing you the other day, or in the last section, it was literally yesterday. So it really was the other day. It's throwing me off. Copy the bass line, paste it into the drums section, and now it's harder to get everything on time in the drum section if you've got dotted notes of really any length. Because I'm trying to get the if you're doing a lot of stuff with quarter notes, which with drums you are most of the time, especially with the cymbals, it's hard for it to wrap around that that dotted note in this program, at least. So I like to subdivide everything into what their actual parts are. So if it's a dotted 8th note, that equals out to an 8th note and a 16th note. A dotted note is 1 1/2. So if it's a whole note with a dot after it, it's a whole note and a half note together. So that's, instead of 4, if you're in 4 time, it's 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Well, technically it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Same thing carries as you get smaller. Okay, so now for the drums, I'm just going to do the kicks all the way through, matching with it on the instruments. Pardon me. Notice how I'm skipping some of them, though that's because those are the notes that are the ring out, not the actual hit on the instrument. Alright, and then this is definitely going to be China. I also like to start off my sections, and this is a me thing. I like to start off my new sections with a big crash hit, so it's telling that it's a new section. It's like, okay, we're into a new section. Let's mark this by doing a bigger crash. So when I write here, what I'm limited to, I use the crash high. You can see here, and then sometimes if it's like a longer section, let's say it's 8 measures instead of 4. So a real quick thing here is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 measure, 2 measures, 3 measures, 4 measures. If I have a riff or a section that's just 4 measures or a repeat of the same 4 measures, I will just use the high crash to initiate the section. Now if it's a section that's 8 measures long, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it goes into another 4, I usually, not all the time, but I'll usually mark the first 4 by the high crash and the second 4 by the medium crash. Again, that's just a me thing, but if you go back and listen to any of my stuff, you'll be like, oh, I hear it now. At the force line break again. Okay, so here's another good thing, or another example of what I'm talking about. So where this 8th note lies, and I know I'm looking over here, but that's where, like I said the other day, that's where this monitor is, but I can look here, it's on this screen. So where this 8th note is, really kind of screws me up, because 1, 2, 3 16th notes, and then an 8th note. So there's 16 16th notes in one measure. If you take 2 16th notes and add those together, that's 1 8th note. And then you take 2 8th notes and put those together, that's a quarter note, and so on and so forth. Problem here is that I've got 3 16ths and 1 8th. You might start seeing my problem here in a second. So with my China symbol, I want that on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is 1, 2. My 4 is technically in between this note and, or my 2, because this is the 1. My 2 is technically in between that note and that note. So what do I have to do? I have to divide this note by 2, and then add the other half in a blank space. So this note divided by 2, it's an 8th note, and makes it a 16th note. But now we have drums that don't match up. So what do? I add in a rest equal to the amount that I cut out. Now it matches up. What is this space going to be used for? My second China symbol, because it lands on the 2. Now you can see here, and I love that this program does this, you can see that this section of 4 notes is connected, this section of 4 notes is connected. So it makes it kind of easy. I'm going to run into the same problem here. So that's 1, half, 1, half, 1. So that's 1 1/2. I need to split this one, add in another rest, put my China here, and that's all 4. So now what I can do So I can make this a dotted note to get rid of that rest, and make this an eighth note for that. So there you go. Now it fits in. Now that I'm done explaining stuff to you guys, I can get on with what I'm doing here. I'm a jerk. Get used to it. Oh, that goes there. China. 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 Run into the same problem. China. 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 Snare. Snare. I also like adding little accents that are not necessarily necessary. It just it adds a little flavor. The other thing is that I feel like this section needs a repeat with a lead over it, which is another thing that it's kind of a reflex for me, and or a maybe a habit at this point. Is it healthy? I don't know. Is it formulaic? Kind of. Does it work? Yeah. That. So now what we'll do is go. So now what I'm going to do is hit this button, the signal, and then click the button again, hit that there, put the signal there, and now from here all the way to here gets repeated. So Actually, you know what, even better, I've got a way to actually mark these sections. Let me see if I can move. Wrong thing. Move this over here for a second. So now, we got this button. This button, A, intro. B is bridge, technically. This section, C, the verse, and then this is technically wrong button. There you go. D, chorus. So, and I'll move myself back over in the corner here, where I belong. Yeah, you guys get the picture. So now that we're done with that, now I can go on to the next section. And I think for this, I am just gonna copy and paste the intro. One as a kind of break in the song, getting back to like a slower thing, and to kind of tie the intro back into the song. And we'll mark this as the E bridge. I'll make sure that repeats. So after what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this last note, so that way when it repeats it only goes through once. So, on to the next section. I want to break down. And I want the breakdown to kind of reflect a couple different sections of the song that already exist to kind of tie the whole thing together. It's another technique that I've been using for years. And again, that's just me. You don't have to copy anything that I do. In fact, if you do, that makes you less original. I expect you to take some hints from this and weaponize it towards your own stuff. So, don't exactly copy me, but absolutely, if you want to use what I do for inspiration or anything, do it. Show me what you wrote. It'd be sick. So I'm going to use volume. I'm going to use that. I'm going to go back through and see if there's anything else. Yeah. Make these all zeros. And I'm only going to do single notes to make it heavy. Alright, is there anything else? The other thing I like to do is, you'll see. I'm going to delete these. So it's just yeah. So now we just copy it to the second guitars here, copy it and shift it down an octave here for the bass, and now I can do the drums. So for a little added effect here, I'm doing kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare, kick, snare, snare, and then tom 2, tom 3, snare, snare. The kicks are going to be accented by some cymbals, because this section is, it's got some staccato in it, so it's like, so staccato means it stunted, I guess, or shortened. So instead of doing, it's, or instead of, it's not the length of the full note plus the space until the next note. So I can close this, I think. So this section here, see how it's got the space in between? It's an 8th note, 16th, 8th, 16th rest, 8th, 16th rest, so on and so forth. So the staccato is bump, 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 instead of, like in this section here where it's ba-da-da, bump, 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 bump. That's the difference between staccato and regular note. So, we've got, where did it go? There's my mouse. I'm gonna play it twice. We'll start with the bridge. Or the intro. Now, we're using it as the bridge. So now that I've established the breakdown, kind of want to do a solo over this. So now I just got to figure out how long I want the solo section. I'd say about 16 bars. So then the other thing is I need to figure out what the root notes are going to be. So technically I need to figure out the solo first. Which it starts on B, so I am also going to start on B, or at least maybe the 5th or the 3rd, I don't know yet. So I think we're about done with the solo. That fit very well. I'm extremely happy with that. So now we'll just plug in the bass. So maybe I'll add a little variation here. Crash medium. No, I'll do China then crash. So it's like a let's copy that, paste it. Chorus will go after that. Copy, paste, because it's not, that doesn't change. Save, copy, paste, save, copy, paste, save, copy, paste, save. I'm so wary of not saving because so many bad things have happened from not saving. Well, we're almost done. We are, in fact, almost done. The bridge is going to be kind of the outro as well. No! Go back. Copy. Paste, save, copy, paste, save, copy, paste, save. Paste, paste. And then this is going to be marked as G. Outro. And hold the rest at the end. Guys, we have a complete song. So, with that being said, we're going to listen to the whole thing in just a moment. If I can figure it, there's my mouse. Yeah, so I think we're ready to listen to the full thing. You ready? Let's go. Well, guys, I'd say that's a sick, completed song. So all there really is left to do, I'm going to show you here. I'm going to solo 2 of the tracks, one at a time. Right now I am soloing the drums. But before we do that, actually, we need to name the song. So this is going to go on one of my upcoming albums. The name of the album is The Human Disease, and I'm kind of framing all the song titles around like symptoms of like illnesses and everything. I've already got 2 completed. There's Hives and Rash. Both are recorded. But now I need to think of a song title for this one. And I think... what am I going to call it? What am I going to call it? No, it's not in that folder. It's on the desktop. There it is. The Human Disease. Hives, Rash. What do I want to call this one? What's a disease? What's a good disease or symptom of? Pustules. Yeah, that's what the name of the song is. Pustules. All right, so I've got the drum track soloed. I'm gonna do File, Export, MIDI, space, drums. So now it's going to be saved as Pustules Drums, and then we're going to mute that, solo the bass, File, Export, MIDI, Pustules, bass, save. And I'll be explaining exactly why I did that in the next video when we record the song Pustules. So yeah, stay tuned for that, I guess, and we'll see you then. Take care. Maybe. Again with this,